Yeah, let's do it, man. You had a great idea. It's something to talk about that we both have a lot of passion for and excitement about.
Yes.
So,
Dollywood,
yes. It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
I wish that's where we were going.
I know, me too. But we're not.
Well, maybe this will inspire us to go.
Well, I love it so much. But it is so crowded now. I just don't really. Oh, you found your sunglasses.
I was sitting on them.
He cannot keep up with anything.
Oh, it's
Cannot
scary.
keep up with anything.
It's kind of frightening.
It is very frightening. Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Hollywood.
But anyways, Dollywood say so crowded now. It wasn't like that when I was a kid.
No.
And I guess it wasn't even Dollywood when you were a kid, was it?
Silver Dollar City, yeah. Silver Dollar City. I'm one of the last few people that would remember that.
Yeah?
But yeah. It's funny you should bring that topic up. And I had no influence on you deciding this topic, did I?
No.
Well, I swear, I went the other day, I started thinking about the flooded mine ride.
Yes.
And I went to YouTube and watched a ride. There's still one at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. So I'm
that's cool.
I'm going to go out there just to ride that mine.
I always heard that there was snakes in it.
I don't know if that's true. I've heard that too. I don't know.
I heard that somebody got bit by a snake, or actually it happened a couple of times, and that's why they decided to close it. But I don't know how true that would be, because they put Daredevil Falls there.
Yeah, and I don't know how untrue it would be either, because they'd cover it up if you'd have to, you know?
Well, maybe.
But yeah.
That's true.
But I love
Probably
that.
wasn't a venomous snake.
Well, for the flooded mine ride, it's worth the chance, isn't it?
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that ride.
I did too.
As you get older, it became less. It certainly wasn't a thrill ride, because you just kind of poke through there on that boat, going about 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, but it was fun. I loved Daredevil Falls, though.
Yeah, that was fun.
I still always miss the mine ride. Do you remember the water log ride too? That was down in the carnival section.
My dad.
Why did they take it out? I guess because it was too similar to Daredevil Falls.
I guess.
But I loved it. It was still good.
My dad. There's a funny story of him. He was riding on it, and his hat flew off.
Oh, no.
And went into the water, and the people were yelling at him and everything, but he wouldn't listen to them.
Yeah.
He stepped in the water and everything to retrieve his hat.
Oh, God.
He wasn't going to lose his hat. And his people, sir, you can't do that. He got it. I'm pretty sure it's a red man hat, too.
Oh, that's a good hat.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that.
No, that's probably worth a lot of money right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, red man stuff's expensive.
Well, and they can't do advertising anymore. I tried to get to buy one. They wouldn't let me.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I think both of our favorite ride is always the Blazing Fury. Yeah, it's the best.
I don't even.
But they have made some changes to it that I don't like it as well as I used to.
The water
they sped it up.
Yeah.
The water's gone. Yeah.
I stole your thunder, sorry.
Yeah, all the water's gone. Even like in the middle where the guy had the water hose.
That's gone too?
Yeah, it's all gone.
Man.
All the water's gone out of it.
That's no fun.
And it's so fast now you can't hear all of like the funny little sayings.
Yeah.
It's just more like a speed indoor coaster. But it's so crowded now. I'm sure that's why they did it.
I wonder if people would riot if they took that ride out.
Oh, I would.
I would too. Like they
I
took
don't
the
even
flooded
get to
mine.
go much anymore, but I would still riot.
Well, that flooded mine bothered me really, but still does. I'm still got a grudge against them for that. It's like, you didn't consult me. How many times have I came and patroned you, you know?
I know.
But yeah, the Blazing Fury, I think that would be maybe a bad day for Dolly.
Yeah, I would riot. Don't say anything bad about Dolly, though. You know, I could have played at Dolly in a play at Dollywood.
This is kind of like those stories you told me about. I've heard this a few times.
So we went to Dollywood all the time when I was a kid, and my mom wanted to watch the shows. And you remember, like, going up towards where the Sidewinder was. There was that big theater, and they did a show there of like Dolly's life.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, we had somebody that approached us after the show and was like, "Hey, are you guys local?" And basically saying like if I lived local, that they would get me to play Little Dolly because I had like the white blonde hair and stuff. Which, you know, was always a worry I couldn't sing.
Yeah?
I can't sing at all, but if I didn't have to sing, like, I could have been Little Dolly.
Well, maybe they would have had you lip sync in there, you know?
Or they could have had me have, like, voice lessons.
Who could sing like Dolly, though, you know? Like, they had to be a tough situation for them.
They always had good talent in their shows, though.
Oh, God, they did, yeah.
My mama always loved watching the bluegrass. So, like, she wasn't in the best health, but she would go with us, and we would let her watch those bluegrass shows and stuff, and we'd go ride rides and then get back together and go eat and whatnot. That's another thing. I hate to, like, say everything's went downhill, but, you know, as stuff gets more crowded.
You're getting old.
You can't, you can't do things like so detailed anymore. But Red's Diner was always my favorite place to eat, and it probably still is in there. But there used to be like all kinds of different options. You remember that? And now it's just like A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, mass produced.
Yeah,
didn't feel
it's not
individual at all. Yeah.
Same. I tell you, I went a couple of years there ago and got a caramel milkshake, and it was to die for.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was so good. Their cinnamon bread knocks my socks off. You said you've never
had it, boy, and we tried that time. Remember?
Yeah, the line was like literally a mile long,
and it was like closing time, so we knew they'd cut us off. There's no way they'd let us have that.
Yeah,
man, it was heartbreaking.
It's my favorite.
I could smell it.
Oh,
I did smell it.
I can smell it just thinking about it.
Do you remember the first time you went there?
No.
No, I figured.
We went my whole life.
Oh, well, and it all runs together at some point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just remember the Blazing Fury, the first time terrifying me, you know, and then in a good way.
When I was little, we would go with my babysitter a lot, and like my mom and my babysitter would be like, stand on your tippy toes so that you'll be tall enough to ride. Yes. But we always got caught.
I got a picture of me winking at my son Will. I'm stuffing his shoe with a sock. I rolled a sock up and jumped him up because he was always just a shade too small.
Yeah.
And he was pretty old, you know. And it was so frustrating. So I started cheating for him.
Yeah.
And
because if it was just barely over, most of the time they would not let you ride. Seems like if it was really, really close, a couple of times somebody let me ride something, but I could kind of see it with like Daredevil Falls, where a kid could like be thrown out.
Yeah.
But Blazing Fury, you had that little bar over you.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been, God would have had to intervene for you to have a problem on that. But
yeah.
Speaking of Blazing Fury, I think we moved on from it too quick because
we did.
I mean, it's so easy to memorize all those lines on there, and all you got to do is say them, and everybody in the world knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, now, Molly, I got a weak back, and weak back or not, Luther, here I come.
Yeah.
And then that kiss.
It looks like you've been kissing that steam train. And Fire in the Hole, just like at the exhibition mine. Yeah. Like when I heard Fire in the Hole, I don't think about the mines, I think about Blazing Fury.
I still, and I'm not even exaggerating here, I still get excited every time I hear them say that. I want to be, when I retire, I want to move down there and work the Blazing Fury. I'll be the guy.
Me and my friend Stacy said that we were going to go down there and work, and that we'd work like in the ice cream shop or the cinnamon bread place.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We could carpool though if we all pull.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Save on gas.
Well, we're talking about getting a cabin back in the woods.
Oh. You'll have to pick me up.
Yeah.
Being closer to town.
You're going to be closer to town?
I was just kidding. I also like driving that far to get to Dollywood. It's such a hard ride.
Yeah. Now, I just hate that it's so crowded now.
I know, me too. It's
so crowded. The whole town.
Like you said, I used to think it was crowded. It was nothing to what it is now.
No. I used to love roller coasters, but now I can't hardly do it since I've had back surgery, and I think even if I could, would it really be worth it to stand in a line for 2 hours for a 2-minute ride? I mean, really?
Yeah.
It's just like that kind of going. I know when we went at Christmas a couple of years ago, like, we didn't get to do hardly anything, it didn't feel like.
Yeah, you had to pick and choose, and you don't want to do that. You want to... A place like that, it's small enough you should be able to get everything done in a day.
Yeah.
But they've kind of outgrown that.
Yeah, and you used to could. What did we do? Like maybe 4 rides?
Something, yeah.
Walked around?
They've worked on some systems, kind of like Disney World's got that Fast Pass system, and it's amazing. But they've done a few things there. You got to pay for it, and it's, it's just, I don't know, it kind of throws you off from the experience. But what about the food? I know you strike me as somebody like a good funnel cake. No?
I like funnel cakes pretty good. It's not my favorite.
That place is where I fell in love with roasted corn.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, and the like candied nuts, candied pecans and stuff. We usually would eat like breads, and we'd get like cinnamon bread to take home, ice cream there. But as far as much else, we didn't really eat much else there because it was always so expensive. Like, you kind of learn the tools of the trade thing. Eat breakfast before you go in, pack you some nabs for snacks. And I don't even know if they let you take in snacks now, do they?
If they catch you, they wouldn't, I bet.
Probably not.
That Aunt Granny's, that's like a buffet in there, and it's good. I remember we used to go and had the same waiter like several times in a row, and he was very distinct because he'd always walk up. He was almost a little something off about him, but he'd tell every single table is the exact same line. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? Where are you from? I mean, it was the exact same line, and he'd go to every single table, and he'd do it the exact same cadence, and it's one of those times when somebody asks you a question, they really don't care, you can tell.
Yeah.
Where y'all from? You know.
I know I ate there, but I don't remember. Like, we just always ate like Reds.
Usually when you went down to that area, did you mostly just Dollywood, or did you do a lot of other stuff?
You said that you've never been to Splash Country.
No.
I really like Splash Country, but again, it is so crowded now that, I mean, it's bad enough at a amusement park, but everybody in bathing suits and in water, a huge crowd, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
But they've opened like a couple of water parks now in Pigeon Forge, so I wonder what it would be like. I haven't been there since they've done that. So, we didn't mention the Rampage.
Oh, no. How can we not mention the Rampage? Yeah. How do you not mention that?
Yeah.
We just know we're scratching the surface. Yeah.
Sidewinder. It was my mom's favorite. We rode it all the time, and I loved it, but I had a legit fear that we would come out of it.
I think, like I said, you said there's legit fear.
Yeah.
It's like a bobsled. You could just get, shot out in the field somewhere.
Yes.
What did you mention before that?
Rampage.
Well, Rampage. Well, I guess that's the thing is that, I mean,
always loved Rampage.
The line used to be insane for that. You'd have to wait forever when it first opened up. That was probably the worst line they had there back in its day, that I remember anyway.
I remember, like, sometimes it would be really, really bad like that, and probably the worst, and then other times it wasn't that bad. But, like, usually if it was just, like, me and my mom, or if we had, like, 2 other people with us, we would go to the 2 or under riders. Yeah. And that way you can kind of skip ahead a little bit, because they just fill the empty space with the 1 or 2 riders. So it's a little bit faster.
That's pretty good.
But now, like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, it twirls in places I didn't think that it would twirl.
That's great.
But, I mean, the line.
Yeah.
Did you ride the roller coasters much?
I was thinking the bucket when you said that. Okay.
Yeah, not the ride.
Not the
ride. Yeah.
I was like, I thought that'd be a good thing. You made it sound bad.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you ride the roller coasters much?
Oh yeah, I'm a big roller coaster. I still ride them every time I go. I'm a big. My son was on a big quest. My oldest son was on a quest to do a bunch of theme parks. So and he tracked down like the tallest ones and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I always got into that. Like go to Carowinds and ride the.
Yeah.
That.
I always loved them.
Yeah, Intimidator and all that stuff. That was fun. And I was scared to death of them when I was a real little kid. But then I got more and more into it. Now I love them.
Oh, I always loved them. I loved them so much. But yeah, as I got older, back surgery and stuff, I don't think I've even tried one since my back surgery.
It's a little.
Because if you get whipped around a little bit, if that got my back to hurting, it would just be the end of it. But I loved Thunderhead. It was the fastest wooden coaster.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that the wooden one? Yeah, that one will rock you like a hurricane, man.
Yeah, I love that one. I wasn't so big on Was it called
Mystery
Tennessee
Mine?
Tornado?
Oh, Tennessee Tornado.
No, I like Mystery Mine.
I love it too. Mystery Mine's very unique. I thought it was a real good one.
Although I have a legitimate fear there that fire is going to blow off my eyebrows or something, you know?
Well, you do feel it. You feel the heat of it.
Yeah, because you get on it and you ride out to a certain point and then it like stops and it blows out this like flame of fire and then it goes literally straight down. But it's
I don't think that ride would have worked in the 80s when all those girls were wearing Aquanet.
Oh, yeah, that would have been bad.
It set a whole
yeah.
section on fire.
Yeah, really. What's the other one that's there? They got a new wooden coaster. I haven't got to ride it.
What, that eagle, Screaming Eagle, or whatever
The Wild
it's called?
Eagle?
Wild Eagle, yeah.
It was good.
I like it
Like,
too. Smooth.
I think that I had like a panic attack the first time I rode it though because I just wasn't expecting that. And like you go up and I realized since that they like make it a cloud, like they blow out like a mist to where it's like a cloud. But like if you don't know that they do that, you feel like you're going up so high that you're actually in the clouds and you can see the whole parking lot. And I thought I was gonna have a panic attack, but before I really could, it was over. And by then I was like, I want to do it again. But there's another one, like the firehouse something, or it like goes backwards part of the way.
Yeah, I know what you're
I liked it pretty good too.
For what
But
it is
I think it would be rough on the back.
Yeah, I think it's a little choppy on that one.
Yeah,
So-
where it does like whip you back.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like I said, the old Tommy section, I still like going down there just for the games and that kind of stuff. And then
I've never been as big on that part, but I think it's more fun than what it used to be. They have some cool rides in there. We used to always just go down and do like the adult swings and like the scrambler. But now they got some other stuff that's pretty fun.
I'm a really competitive person, and I hate that about myself when it comes to carnivals and stuff because you think you can win and really set up against it.
Yeah.
But I do love that little horse racing game they got where you roll this ball.
Yeah.
And depending on which level you go in, your horse moves on.
Yeah.
And I just, oh gosh, I get so excited about that because it's something you feel like your skill can win.
Yeah.
You know, which really, I mean, I guess it has a little bit to do with it, but very little.
Yeah, very little.
'Cause
I don't think I've ever played any of those. Really?
Oh man, I would think you'd enjoy that, but
No, not really big on like the carnival ride, the games. I mean,
throwing ring toss or any of that.
plus when I was little, my mom didn't want to pay extra money when you already pay a lot to get in there.
That's true.
And B, to end up with some kind of junk that you have to carry around the park the whole day. I think that somebody gave us one time this big, huge purple gorilla that
They knew what
had
they were doing, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a picture of me with that thing. It was like 3 times my size. But I know when we got home, Mom was like, what the heck are we supposed to do with this thing?
Yeah, where you want to store it and how you get it home and carrying it around all day.
Yeah. So,
It was rough, man.
anyways.
That's why you do save that for last, but nobody does. I've seen people carrying stuff like that around.
I think I did the one carnival game. It's not really a game, but you went to this guy and like if he guessed like your age, your height, and your weight within a certain amount, then he won.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And if he didn't get it right, then you won something. I can't remember what it was that you won, but I did that one time, and he got like only one thing right, and it was right at the edge of whatever the cutoff thing was. But then after you do it, you're like, oh, that's a huge gap that they have to work with, so it's rigged against you.
My aunt, who was very vain, she always thought she looked younger than she did, and she really didn't.
Yeah.
We were just talking about her the other day. She went, I think it was Dollywood. It could have been Kings Island in Cincinnati, but I'm almost positive it was Dollywood, to that same guy. And he guessed her older than she was. And I'm telling you, like, she took it to the grave with her. She never got over it. It's like...
Never went back.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. That guy insulted me. He knew better.
Oh, I love Dollywood, though. We were really lucky when I was a kid that I remember the days when gas was 75 cents a gallon and we could take off and go just about every weekend. And there was somebody... we knew like motels that were cheap but good and clean, and For the most part, at that time when I was growing up, they were like local family-owned businesses, and they took pride in their places. And so you could either stay somewhere cheap like that, or we had somebody that we went to church with that had some friends, I think, that lived in Ohio, but they had a second home in Sevierville. And
man, that's a dream.
I know, it was a cabin back in the woods, and they would charge us like $75, and it was like a 3-bedroom, so you could take different families and split it and pay nothing almost, you know?
Yeah.
And so we went down there a lot, and we learned the back roads, how to get to Dollywood from there fast. And
once you learn that kind of stuff, you feel like you're in.
yes. Speaking of being in, I know you asked those other things we did. We went to Memories all the time. The Elvis impersonator show.
Yeah.
That was on the Strip. And they knew us. Like, they literally knew us by name.
You know,
they would see us in the crowd.
You're a regular then.
Yeah. And I remember one time, we hadn't been in like, I think it was like 3 or 4 years. And we went back and we went to Memories that night. And they were like, oh my God, where have y'all been? Like, that makes you feel good.
Yeah,
it was
gotcha.
literally like my second home.
That's awesome. Yeah, the things like that, I mean, it's outgrown all the charm.
Yeah, it has.
Because I got one last story about being in Dollywood personally, and I probably told it on this channel before. I know I told you about my dad trying to buy that Shetland pony.
Yes.
Back before it was Dollywood, it was Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
And they had the old man with the long beard and overalls. And for some reason, I don't know what the deal was, but he had the Shetland pony he was trying to sell.
Yeah.
And my dad was wanting to buy it. And of course, you're talking about 2 kids, me and my brother. We were little kids. We want the pony. And my mom wouldn't let us get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dad was mad at her. We were mad. I mean, we gave her the cold shoulder the whole ride
Your
back.
poor mom.
My dad's plan was to stick it in the back end of a car and stop every few miles and open it up and let him breathe. I'm not joking. This is a true story. And then now you wonder why I'm the way I am. And he had us sold on it. And then me and my brother volunteered to let it just sit on our lap while we walked home. So I had Shetland pony. Well, I won't do nothing. It'll sit there. And
Yeah, he'd be calm as a kid.
yeah, we'll pet him, get him home, and mom put her foot down, and we've all had a grudge.
Your dad mad.
Yeah, Dad was mad. We were mad.
Oh my
She was
gosh.
the calm voice of reason a lot of times. I didn't want to see that way at the time. But yeah,
I know, I love that story. That's a good one.
yeah. I got a coonskin cap there one time, and back when Porpoise Island was there, that's before your time.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of, like they had porpoises and a water show, and there was a lot of, I guess it was Hawaiian people there. And it was an awesome show. And I left my coonskin cap, and we went back to get it one day. And they called around to check around, and somehow a couple of the girls had saw it and took it home with them, and they brought it to us.
Aww. They got it?
Yeah, they had it. Brought it back. Sure
to you.
did.
That's
and,
nice.
And I'm telling you, these girls were drop dead gorgeous. And Dad kept talking, go hug them, thank them for it. Go thank them for it. I was like a 10-year-old kid. I was backward. Oh, I can't go hug those girls.
I can't imagine you ever being backwards.
I've worried about it ever since then. I lost a good chance to give me a good hug.
I can tell it's on your heart.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. That's why anytime I'm talking about Smokies, man, I get a thrill out
I
of it.
love it too. That made me think, like, do you remember some of the festivals they had that they don't really have now? Like, they did the Festival of Nations. And I loved it so much because you could get food from other countries. I bought this really cute little, it was like a shirt that's like a Chinese style shirt.
Yeah.
And I wore that thing all the time, and I don't know, I just loved that. It was like Epcot at Disney or something, it was nice.
Yeah, Epcot's got that Busch Gardens. It's like I almost got a Burke's Garden.
I've never been there.
Oh, it's great. It's amazing because it has those little themes like that. And I love it too. Just get that little taste of, something new.
Yeah.
They used to have a lot more country music there than they do now too. I've saw bukus of shows.
I know, me too.
They don't
you wonder why they don't. It's crowded as they stay and stuff.
I know, and they prices have gone up. You could pretty well gouge somebody, and you'd probably just about sell out anybody. I mean, they could bring back older acts that are on the way down.
We should consult her and tell her to do this. She could almost do like a little Vegas run for somebody, and pay somebody to be in there a show every night for a week. And gosh, people would pay Bukus.
Well, I mean, I saw Waylon Jennings there. That's a big win, and I saw a lot of good people, and John Anderson, and I saw a lot of good talent. And there's some older guys that would love to have a place to go.
Oh yeah.
And hang in, and you can charge a pretty cheap ticket for them.
That's true.
And just have people entertained, good music.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I wish he'd make it happen.
James Rogers.
Bring him back.
Yeah.
He came up last night.
There was this one lady that we went to church with that would go with us some, and she loved James Rogers. So
he had a charm about him, that's for sure. I guess he's retired now, but
yeah.
We're Facebook friends.
I remember he told a joke. I know.
I brag about it all the time.
I remember he told a joke about Preparation H having a warning on it, not for internal use, and he was like, "Who would put that on it like a cracker and eat it, and then like your tongue shrink up?" And he would do like the voice. Like I always remember that joke.
Yeah, he was definitely a fixture for years. I think the last time I saw him, it was like a Christmas special or something. He'd been gone for a while. He come back and did that, and he was great. He had a lot of charisma.
Yeah, he does. Did y'all hang out more in Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, or just go to Dollywood, or what did y'all do?
When I was a little kid, Pigeon Forge, mostly. Yeah. They had a bunch of more of the hotel motel stuff, so we stayed there. And then as I got older, Gatlinburg became the cool place for people. And they fell in love with this one place called Twin Oaks or Twin Islands, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's where the aquarium is now.
Yeah.
But we stayed there. It's just like clockwork. Me and my mom and dad's family, and then my uncle Jack and their family.
Yeah.
And we'd all go down there together, just like clockwork.
Cool.
Man. My grandparents would go sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I head that direction, I get excited and I get a flood of good old memories.
I do too. I love it. Even if it is crowded and, it's not the same as it used to be. Like, I still love it. And just being down there so much growing up, it does feel like going back home in a way. And like you said, the good memories.
Well, then another one. I have so much of a flood of them. But
yeah.
One, and I hope somebody out here remembers, was those bears. When you very first came into town, I think you were probably still in Sevierville, or maybe not. Maybe
I remember that.
And you could give them Cokes and stuff. They did drink a Coke.
I don't remember that so much, but I remember bears were almost everywhere.
Yeah,
like they'd be in cages, and you could feed them a little something, or like watch them or whatever.
Well, this one looked like there were two of them. There was Bozo and Joe. And they looked like they were in like a chicken wire fence. I mean, if they had got motivated at all, they could have brought the house down, but they were just too lazy. They just sat there. You'd buy them a Coke, and they'd drink that sucker. They'd probably eat up with the diabetes and everything else. But
that's so sad.
I know.
I'm glad that they don't keep them in the cages anymore.
I'm not going to agree with that. I know what you're saying, but I mean, it took.
But you're selfish.
But I'm selfish. Yeah, the heck with the bear. Well, he might get shot out in the wild. At least they're getting cold.
So terrible. Nobody's going to go bear hunting.
Do you think it's a bad life?
Middle of Pigeon Forge.
Sitting somewhere and have somebody giving you Coke all day. That's a bad life. That's a bad life.
Yes, it is. It's bad for you.
Well, maybe bad for you, but is it a bad life? We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
Okay. We will.
I understand that it's cruel, but I'm talking about for entertainment value. For entertainment value.
It was the same in Cherokee. Cherokee's not that much of a drive. I remember going down there, and they had bears in cages down there, too.
You ain't drove across to Gatlinburg, then, if you think that ain't much of a drive. That is the longest. What does it say? It's like 10 or 20 miles, whatever it is.
Well, what's an easier way to get to Cherokee?
There ain't one.
Exactly.
It's a nightmare, though.
Basically, if you're going to go to Cherokee, you might as well do it while you're down in Gatlinburg. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
That's what I mean.
Apparently on these videos I collect nickels, right? If I had a nickel for every time I went across that mountain and I saw somebody car overheating in the 70s and 80s, that's back when that was a huge problem.
Yeah.
You'd have to see somebody pulling a trailer or something that overheat, and you'd see somebody over with a shirt or something trying to get the smoke cleared down, pouring water down it.
We were talking about that the other day, cars overheating.
Yeah. Just ain't something you see anymore like it used to be.
Yeah.
It made some improvements.
Yeah, Gatlinburg's another thing. It's like we would usually stay in Pigeon Forge most of the time, mostly.
Yeah.
But we would go down to Gatlinburg, especially like when the aquarium opened and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to kind of walk the strip. We always loved like Ripley's haunted house there, and it was really good. And we're horror people, but
the Ripley's is great.
Yeah, Ripley's is great. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, that's one that's. It seems like it's really small looking out now, but there's a lot to it.
Oh yeah,
that was a great one. And walking those streets like they have.
Oh, there was another. There was like the Mystery Mansion.
Yeah, I never did go in
that. We went in that one. It was pretty cool too. I remember we went in like this. It was kind of like a scary magic show one time, and we went in, and I think Mom thought it'd be more like a magic show, and I guess it was, but I got scared for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, if it saw people in half or something, that's.
Well, no, it wasn't. They didn't do anything like that, but for some reason I got scared, and I remember the guy afterwards like come up and was like consoling me, and he was like, "Don't be scared," and he like showed me how he did all the tricks and stuff. Nice. And yeah, it just had like a small town vibe back then,
Oh yeah.
Even though like there was so much fun to do, it was still like local families. People like looked out for each other.
And you couldn't get alcohol. It was
yes, I think that is one of their biggest downfalls, and not saying that I don't ever drink or I've never drank or whatever, but everywhere you go now, the strip of Gatlinburg, everybody's just, they stay wasted, and that ain't good for the place.
Well, and the problem is, just to be honest, there's not a refuge for families to go that you can get away from that stuff anymore. Like back in the day, you were safe there from that kind of stuff. It was a Bible based. It was just a cleaner live, but now you get down there and
it was more of like family focused, and now they've really capped in on the moonshine.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a big markup on alcohol, like you said. I mean, I don't have any problem with that in general, but it's just
it's out of control down there.
It's out of control down there, and it's it just changed the whole face of what that was to me.
Yeah, me too. It really has. Because I know, like, when those moonshine distilleries first opened, it was, you could do free moonshine tastings. And then, like, more and more and more opened. So people would go from one to the next to the next. And you go to a couple of those and do, moonshine tastings, and you're drunk before you know it. And so then they started charging $5 for the tasting, but you get the $5 off. But still, I mean, I guess a lot of people see it as a deal that you can get several mini shots for $5, and
and that's just the way but and you see that a lot with parents and stuff too, but do you really want to go to a fun place like that and see your mom or dad drunk? I mean, that ain't my style. That's the last thing I want to see.
No, absolutely not. You wouldn't want your kids to see you that way either.
No, who would? Who wants to set that image or whatever? I mean, but a lot of people, they get out and they just can't resist it. Next thing you know, it's a bad day.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's kind of like, I don't mean to take like a bad direction, but it's a lot of the way of the world anymore. And not a lot of things are family focused or kid focused. It's more about letting loose and having a good time. And I'm just glad that it wasn't like that there when I was a kid. That I had a really good childhood with a good place to visit that felt like a second home to me. It felt safe and happy, and I got a lot of good memories.
Alrighty, still some of the happiest, warmest memories we could ever hope for, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. So now that he's about coughed his lung out.
I got tears in my eyes. I'm not talking about this.
Yeah.
Or am I?
And talking about the memories.
I was thinking about Joe and Bozo. They're gone.
Yeah, but anyways, really thankful, have a place with really good memories like that, and I think it's still a really good place to go.
Oh yeah, compared to a lot of other things.
Yeah, definitely.
It's great. Were we blessed, a little bit more blessed? Yes, but
it's just the way of the world, really.
And that's just us. A lot of people like it 10 times better now, probably. I just speak our own opinions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do.
We had a great time, and you were really fortunate to be at probably the last age to have that innocence there.
I think probably so, for the most part anyways. I don't really remember like the moonshine stuff coming in until I was more of an adult though, but so there still may be some after me, but anyways, I'm really, really glad that Appalachia has a place. East Tennessee has a place that can attract tourists and bring in income, and so there's positives and minuses with everything. Yeah.
I don't think I realized how popular it was.
Mm-hmm. They mentioned it in an episode of Friends.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm used to think, I don't think it could.
And that show's old, but
I don't think any of that could have ever happened if it wasn't for Dollywood. I really don't. I think Dolly buying that,
I agree,
and building it up and branding herself.
Yeah, and she's done so many good things for so many people. I've heard for years that their schools are awesome because of her donations and making sure that there are good resources for those kids. So I think that's great.
My daughter still gets a book every month. Imagination Library. Yes,
oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, anybody can do that.
Yeah, so it's just really great. She's got her heart in the right place. Like she does. Some of the things I disagree with, definitely, but like Dixie Stampede, who cares about a stupid name like that to me? But
we didn't even talk about Dixie Stampede. Maybe that'll have to be a whole separate video.
Probably will be because I love that place. I used to.
But anyways,
on to the next topic, right?
On to the next topic. And gotta mention that the website that we sell our merchandise through is offering a sale right now, 25% off with the code FRIENDS and symbol FANS 25 is what it is. We'll put it on the notes too.
What is that ampersand or something? I don't know what it's called. But yeah, it's and sign.
Anyways, we'll put it on there for you to see.
The fancy and sign.
Yes. So snag some merchandise, 25% off, only through April 17th. So just a couple more days.
Yes, but rush and run and get them. We've already had several people that have, so that's good.
Yep. So talk to you later.